Look, I know that the title of this episode is bold, but I'm telling you, I think it's going to happen. So, let's get on with it. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and in today's episode, we are going to be focusing in on the prospect that I think is the favorite to be the pick for the Tennessee Titans at number 1. Dan Orlovsky believes it. I believe it. Titans media believes it. I am having a feeling that Cam Ward will be the first overall pick for the Tennessee Titans. Now, obviously, they're going to put up their big smoke shows and all this stuff to be like, hey, yeah, this is what's going to happen for sure. Wink, wink. And then behind the scenes, they're just like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But I genuinely believe that there's some insight into the Titans organization right now that is saying a lot of strong signals for Cam Ward. So I'm very interested to see if he does end up becoming a Tennessee Titan or not. But I have personally 5 reasons why I believe that he will be a Tennessee Titan. Number 1, Cali values talent over system or scheme fit. Okay? So, to me, at least, this kind of eliminates Shedeur from being the first overall pick, because if they were going to go quarterback, then I'm 100% expecting Cam Ward, not because of the fact that Shedeur isn't talented, it's just that he's not as talented as Shedeur Sanders. That feels like the first, big, obvious thing, where whenever you say that talent is the thing that's most important to you, then you most likely are going to go after the dude, again, with the most talent. That's not that hard. And to me, the dude with the most talent in this draft for the quarterback position is Cam Ward, by far. I don't even think it's close, okay? Let's take a look at Shedeur and Cam Ward's attributes compared together. Arm strength, Cam Ward's got that. Accuracy, okay, I'll give that to Shedeur. Pocket awareness, quite frankly, I'd have to give it to Ward. He's had some very bad moments with pocket awareness. Don't get me wrong, but sorry, but he still has been very solid in the pocket. Okay, and let's think about another one. Calmness in the pocket. Okay, everybody knows that Cam Ward clears whenever that happens. Mobility. Okay, so I think that Cam Ward is better inside the pocket, but I think whenever they get running beyond the line of scrimmage, I think Shedeur's got that. So I would say that was a tie. So overall, whenever we're looking at these stats, you can see who is more obviously the talented player out of these two, at least in my personal opinion. And also, Cam Ward, he has so much arm strength. And here's the thing, I bashed his accuracy kind of by saying that Shedeur had better accuracy. I still 100% believe that he has very solid accuracy. And I think it's enough to where his arm strength can kind of bail him out whenever, whenever his accuracy is failing him. I feel like that his arm strength is enough to bail that out. So, again, first thing, Cam Ward, to me at least, very obviously more talented than Shedeur Sanders, and that would make him, by far, the most talented quarterback in this entire class. Okay, so, moving on to number 2. The Tennessee Titans have a new GM, okay? So here's the thing. I know that some people will be like, yeah, but it's Bergonzi. He's going to he talked about how he wanted blue-collar guys in his first little thing. Yes, he did say that. He said that he wanted blue-collar depth pieces, not just blue-collar guys in general all around the field. He wanted blue-collar depth pieces, the guys that make the team go without anybody else knowing it apart from the diehard fans and the coaching staff. Not as in if there's a blue-collared player, let me think of a random example. If there was a blue-collar, hardworking player in the draft like Will Levis, and he just wasn't really that great in college, and then there was somebody like Cam Ward who, is a lot more relaxed than Will Levis. Not saying that he doesn't work as hard. I'm sure that he works just as hard as Will Levis did, but is a lot more calm and cool, but has all the talents in the world. He never said, I'm going with Will Levis, the blue-collar guy. No, he said, oh yeah, no, we're trying to find the most talent at the position of quarterback. So that gives me hints that he wants to set the tone early for this roster. He's like, okay, we're gonna have the blue collar guys, sure, but we're also going to have an extremely talented quarterback that will lead this team and set the culture and the standard that this team is to have going into the future, at least. So, excuse me. That is why I think that. But then also, we got to think about how it automatically buys you a little bit of extra time. Like, I think that drafting a quarterback buys you like 1 or 2 years. Maybe not like 3 or 4 or anything stupid like that, but it definitely buys you a lot more years as a GM than it would not going with a quarterback and riding with Will Levis going into next season. So both of those things combined are why I do genuinely believe that having a new GM will get us a quarterback. And again, he also hinted at this in a quote whenever he was asked about what it would take to trade up to the number 1 pick. He didn't say anything specifically, but it was very obviously implied that it was just everything. Like, he wants it all if somebody's going to try and trade up with them, which makes me think that he is at least high on a quarterback. That's just how I feel. But anywho, yeah, overall, new GMs in general always just kind of scream in your face. Yeah, this guy, he is going to be he's going to be on this team next year. It's just how I feel. But anywho, number 3, quarterback is the biggest need by far on this roster. Okay, I'm going to have to contradict myself here, all right? Because I've said, oh, yeah, right tackle, edge, heck, even receiver, and I don't mention quarterback that much. But after I've been considering it for a while, yeah, fine. Quarterback is probably the biggest need on the roster. I mean, we take a look at it. It's Will Levis, and we're not even too sure if Mason Rudolph or Trevor Siemian are going to come back. So it's literally just Will Levis right now that's guaranteed to be back next season, and he might even get cut. It's like, okay, he's obviously really bad because, like, at least at edge, Arden Key can do something. And if Harold Landry doesn't get traded, at least something can happen there. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what that noise was. I just want to let that be known. I'm not too sure if y'all could hear it, but I heard some type of noise out of the left side of my ear. I have no clue what it was. So if you did hear that, sorry. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah, right. Right tackle, edge, those positions, like, okay, right tackle, not really that great, but at least you have some young guys that, could do something. Edge, again, as long as Harold Landry doesn't want out or doesn't get traded out, he gets the job done pretty well. And Arden Key is rotational piece at best, but he is a mediocre starter, so again, not really like a huge need. Levis brought down this entire football team. I genuinely believe that with a game manager quarterback, this is like a 6-11, 7-10 team, which 6-11 or 7-10, I feel like at least is a big difference between drafting high and not drafting that high, and having hope for the future of the Tennessee Titans, and thinking that everything is just going to crash and burn over the next couple of years in the Brian Callahan era. Like, there's a big difference between 3 and 6 or 7. So there's that. And also, quarterback is a dime a dozen position, okay? So if quarterback is even in your top 5 biggest needs, you immediately go after quarterback. Why? Because of the fact that it's the most important position in football, and it might be the most important position in all of sports. Okay, so whenever you have an opportunity to go get a quarterback that people are saying has the potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, you take it. You take it immediately. Like, I don't know. I find it ridiculous whenever people try and tell me, but quarterback isn't the biggest need. I'm like, first off, yes, it is. And then I also say, second off, right tackle is a very good competitor, by the way. I'm not trying to play down the big need at that position, to say the least. But I tell them, again, first off, no, it is our biggest need. But I also tell them, second off, I don't care if it's our biggest need. If it's even in the top 5, heck, even top 8 biggest needs, on the roster, you immediately go after quarterback. Again, like I said before, it's because of the fact that you need a quarterback to have a good NFL team, at least right now. Like, this isn't like whenever the Ravens could have Trent Dilfer throwing it back there at quarterback and they were able to win a Super Bowl. Those days are over, quite frankly. And we're in the time where quarterback is, again, very important position. So, again, I think it's going to be Cam Ward because quarterback is a big need, combined with the fact that whenever you have the opportunity to go get a quarterback that could end up being really, really good, you immediately take it. Okay, so moving on to reason number 4. This might be a shorter episode than usual. We have depth at other positions in the draft, okay? Like, quarterback is the least depth-filled class or depth-filled position in this entire class. And I do not think it's even close. Like, it's Cam Ward, maybe Shedeur Sanders, and then after that, you could just throw everything else in the garbage. I don't think Jackson Dart's going to be good. I think he's the next Will Levis, and everybody else isn't even worth mentioning. Except for that one dude from Louisville who, for some reason, there's like this one dude on Twitter that thinks that he's the best quarterback in the draft and would have been quarterback 2 last year. I think it's Adam. Yeah, no, I don't get that. Sorry, Adam. No offense. It's just like, yeesh. But I think his name's Tyler Slaw, something like that. Again, unless he, fulfills Adam's expectations and just comes out of nowhere, I do not see a world where he ends up being anywhere near good. And then everybody else after that is not even worth mentioning. There's not even fun ones like Hendon Hooker and Stetson Bennett and like last year with Spencer Rattler. There's no one else fun outside of those 2 quarterbacks, maybe 3 if you want to consider the third one. So, yeah, quarterback does not have that much depth in this class. But you know what does? Every other position that we need, okay? Edge, James Pierce might go in the 2nd round, and that is something I would be completely happy with. If he fell to the 2nd round and we were able to go draft him at, I think it's 35, is that what the pick is? Even if he's not available, go get Jack Sawyer, just the guy that was the edge for the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes and also played a crucial role in the college football playoffs, not only as a leader, but as a player too. No big deal. We got to look at right tackle, okay? There is depth at right tackle, okay? Again, I can't really tell you that much about these dudes, and I'll try and get into the film or at least look at some summaries of these guys. But Jonah Savaianea is a tackle. Same thing with Ursary. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his first name. But, there are other offensive tackles in this draft outside of that top little bit. Actually, I think right tackle is, it's how there are some position groups where it's just, the top end isn't really amazing, but as you go further down, you realize how deep it is. It's like the 2014 or 2013 NBA draft, the one where Anthony Bennett went first overall. You look at the top 5 at first and you think, man, this class was terrible. It's like Anthony Bennett, Victor Oladipo, Otto Porter Jr., Cody Zeller, Alex Lynn, and you're thinking, golly, this class is terrible. Then you go further on down the line and you see CJ McCollum, pretty decent player. Giannis, pretty decent player. Rudy Gobert, menace on defense. And you keep on seeing more and more solid depth pieces in the NBA right now. And you realize, hey, this class wasn't as bad as we expected it to be, or what we expected it to be judging by those top 5 picks. That is what's happening with right tackle right now. It is the top 5 aren't intensely strong, but the further you go down, the more you realize, hey, this class is pretty deep at offensive tackle. And I say offensive tackle because we don't have to worry about left or right tackle because we have Bill Callahan, baby, and he can turn a left tackle into a right tackle into a left tackle. Whatever you need him to do. I'm sure he could probably turn J.C. Latham into a center today. That may be an over-exaggeration, but still, again, offensive tackle also has a decent amount of depth. But then you also look at receiver, that is a strong. This is a strong receiver class right now. Let me tell you that. Okay, Obviously, for me at least, okay, my two favorites, okay, Trey Harris, okay, understand, you don't like his injury history, whatever, okay, I completely understand that, but you can't deny the dude's talented. Like, obviously, I'm gonna go with the Ole Miss guy. Okay, I did it in like 2 drafts ago with Ryan Wingo. No, Jonathan Mingo. Sorry, Ryan Wingo's in college right now, but I did it with Jonathan Mingo. But this guy actually has the stats to back it up. Not like Jonathan Mingo, who had like 700 receiving yards at his max in college. Like Trey Harris was a really solid football player. And again, drawing the comparisons between him and AJ Brown are unfair, so I'm not going to do it. But I am saying, again, the kid's talented. But if you don't like his injury history, I completely get that, because then we have Isaiah Bond in the second round, okay? This dude was very solid at Texas, was absolutely insane whenever he was at Alabama. Like, again, has one of the most iconic plays in Iron Bowl history with that Hail Mary. Like, you got to be kidding me. So, like, you take a look at these positions and you realize, hey, these positions have depth. They're interesting. We can take a look at them. And like, I am personally very interested in that, because this could end up being the perfect draft for the Tennessee Titans to get things back on the right track. Whenever you take a look at the fact that QB class isn't that deep, that's fine. You got the first overall pick. You can have your choice at quarterback. And, but we may not have that many top 100 picks. That's okay, buddy. You know why? Because there is insane depth in this draft, and you could fix a lot of your serious problems with this one draft. And you can also think about the fact that there's a chance that with these 3 positions, we could find one of them in free agency. Just one. And that's it. Same thing with right guard. I got on a little bit of a happy tangent there, to say the least. Like, offensive guard, if you want to trade that out for right tackle, then that's cool too. But anywho, moving on to number 5. This is the last reason. Because I want it. Okay, it goes a little bit deeper than that, but yes, okay, this is my personal favorite idea. Going Cam Ward number 1 overall and worrying about the other positions in free agency and the rest of the draft. That's how I feel that's how I feel, and that's what I think is the best strategy for the Titans in this draft. That's just my opinion, though. And, again, personal. But, again, you got to think about the business aspect of this, okay? Amy Armstrong's going to be looking at this like, ooh, we get eyes on the Titans. We draft Cam Ward number 1 overall. We make money. We make so much money off of those people's tickets. They buy all the tickets so that way they can go see the new rookie quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. It's so exciting and interesting, and it's awesome. So, like, again, I don't like that this is a part of the game of football, but you got to take a look at it from the business perspective. And from the business perspective, Amy Armstrong is going to be like, hey, no pressure, but if we get a quarterback in this class, it could buy y'all a couple of more years, and it'll make us money. So, ball's in your court, but I'm just saying, quarterback looks pretty good, like Cam Ward. Like, she could very easily put that pressure on the front office. And if she does, well, I think you know what's going to happen. But anywho, those are my 5 reasons for Cam Ward being a Tennessee Titan. That's the end of today's episode. I have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok all under the Titans Rundown, and I have the Vols Rundown. I'm sorry, I keep missing weeks. Sundays have been hectic. I think that this is going to be the first Sunday. I'm not going to make any promises, but this seems like the first chill Sunday that I'm going to have, and I'll be able to talk about my Tennessee Vols, unless they lose to Ole Miss. But anyway, that's going to do it all for me. This has been a rundown of your Tennessee Vols. I love y'all, and go Big Orange.